Okay, unmute it. All right. Oh, okay. We looking presidential.
Come on.
Hey. Hey.
Let me get a couple photos.
Okay. Oh, did I hit record on there?
Hmm.
You hit record on
No,
there?
I was gonna do your photos real quick and then
Oh, okay.
press record.
Okay, thank you. Let me. Okay.
All right, let me give you threes. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and that should be good. You have that set up. And then we go back to video. Oh, let me go. Wait, one more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and you don't want like a hey girl high five. You don't want one of those. Hold on. Wait, Hold on. All right, good to go. Gotcha.
I
Okay,
love that.
video time, so you're good on that.
Okay, video.
Okay.
Okay.
Good on that. Now video, let me just stretch this way. Go. Okay. And the report is gonna go on and press this one.
Okay.
Good. Good.
Is the audio good? Is the audio good? Here we go.
Okay.
Welcome to the Pretty Girls Don't Work podcast, where we work smarter, not harder. What you think about that,
I
Kat?
heard that, girl.
She heard that. Okay, good. We have to work for ourselves. That's what Pretty Girls Don't Work is all about. Now, change the acronym. So let me read it to y'all. Positive, P. R is respectful. E is encouraging. T is thankful. T is truthful. And Y is you being you. Can we get into that?
Come on.
Okay, so I have a guest here today. Kat, that is my girl. Let me go ahead and give her a true introduction. One second. Let me see.
I appreciate you so much.
Girl, wait, look, hold on. Get into it. Hold on. Now, Kat Hadnot, she's also known as Kat. She is the founder and CEO of the You Grow Girl podcast and movement. She's a former world touring professional dancer turned financial industry leader. Okay, get into it. Leaders only. Entrepreneur and advocate who's now using her platform to pour faith, empowerment, and purpose into women everywhere. Kat, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
Welcome to
I
the
am
show.
so happy to be here.
Yes,
Come on.
Have you like it's just really exciting. Even the rock hit my window, but that
Look.
can't steal
Come on.
my joy today.
That's right.
So give us a formal intro though.
Absolutely. No, I'm just so honored to be here. You know, it's so crazy because sometimes we're watching people from afar,
Yeah.
and you and I have been kind of watching each other. And so now we here, but that's how God does for us. He lines it all up for us.
Lines it up.
He does. But such an honor to be here. Kat Hadnot with the You Grow Girl podcast.
Yeah.
And I am just so honored to be in your space today.
Yes.
We both have podcasts. And so this is what you do when you work with women. We uplift each other and love on each other in this space. So I'm just so grateful that we can do this right here.
Yeah.
And then have this conversation today.
I'm grateful for that too. Just like Kat said, you know, they always say like, you know, when you're doing positive stuff, it's always something happening. You know, I don't say that all the time, but I feel like today it happened.
Yeah.
But we still made it, so I'm grateful for us to be here. Today we're talking about empowered voices and elevated brands. So Kat, she wants you to be your best self. So do I. But we're going to talk about empowered voices. That's what she's going to give to us today. It's the power of women owning their story. I love owning your story because a lot of people won't own their story.
That's right.
Because of who's a part of their story and what happened to them. You know, so get into that. Just give us a little bit of that on like, what would you say to someone that's like, well, I can't tell my story. You know, my mom's in it, my cousin's in it. Like, what would you say to them?
You know, I leverage my podcast. Excuse me. I leverage my podcast in a way to give women an opportunity to truly be who they are, their authentic selves.
Yeah.
Whether they do have other people within their story, it's still their testimony. And
Yeah.
so without having a test, you don't have a testimony,
Mhm.
right? And so that's something that we all live
Yeah.
by, right?
Yeah.
And so during those moments when people come to me and say, well, I feel a little bit embarrassed to talk about this story, but you don't understand that there's a message within your story for some other woman that's watching you.
Right.
And what you may be dealing with in this very moment,
Yeah.
someone else is going through the same exact thing. A lot of times life is life for a lot of us. And sometimes we show up our best, the best version of ourselves.
Right.
We got this smile on our face, but inside, we got a lot of other things going on.
A lot of other things going on.
Right. And so I think it's important for people to understand that, tell your story.
Yeah.
Your story is powerful.
Yeah.
Your story is what brought you to where you are today.
Yes.
So stand in that 10 toes down.
10 toes.
And just believe in what you've done and
Yeah.
know that you have the power to be the solution for anything that you want to do.
The power. We got the power. Oh, I love that. Because how she mentioned, life is life for everybody.
Absolutely.
It's everybody.
Mhm.
When you step out of yourself and help those people with your story, it actually empowers you. You keep saying, I call it a brand story. We'll get, we'll get into that. When you keep telling your story, it's like, it's also healing you by healing others.
That part.
So I love that. I love that. I love that. So, let's get into this. Let me see. I don't know if I introduced myself. I'm your host, Coach Ablaza, okay? And this is for women that want to rebuild, rediscover, and redefine who you are. Because we got the expert. We got the Schmeat here today, okay?
My goodness.
The Schmeat. So let's talk about from the stage to the boardroom. Kat, your story is incredible. From a 25-year dance career to leading in the financial industry. How did you find the courage to reinvent yourself? And what role did faith play in that transition?
My God. My
My
God.
God.
It's one of those things, when it comes to people hearing about my story from, dancing professionally and having a pivot, due to an injury, that changed things for me. It changed my perspective on, on life. I didn't have a plan B. I was one of those ones like, this is the plan. Like the plan is to dance professionally, travel the world, do all these things. The industry is where I want to be. When I grew up, I was like, I want to be like Janet. You know what I mean? Like it was that. But then very quickly, all of that changed. And I told myself, okay, I got to figure this thing out. I know that if anything I could do, I can go out and use wherever I'm going to go and use that as my stage. It may not be the stage that I'm used to dancing on, but I'll use another platform as my stage. So I transitioned into the financial industry almost 17 years ago, actually. And I remember starting, from the very bottom. Humble beginnings, right? Like I started and I said to myself when I got in, I'm gonna make this job, like I'm gonna do everything I can to take myself to the next level, because anytime I put my mind to something, you got to give it your full self, right? You got to go 100% in. So I did that. And it took me some time to get to a leadership role. And one of the things that I tell people today, because many people ask me, even in my community where I'm working, they'll ask me like, how did you become, a leader? And I said, well, I was always leading people, right? Because God gave me that. But what I didn't know, what he was setting me up for, is to lead people in a different way. So when I became a manager, I told my team and myself, I don't want to just manage you. I want to lead you into whatever purpose it is that you have for yourself. Whether that's staying here within the company or, growing your own brand as a person and doing whatever you want to do, right? That's what we're doing right now, right? So I asked God to just continue to guide me and order my steps during that time. And I took on a few positions at the bank and just kind of kept making my way up to different roles. And I enjoyed every moment. I think at one point it almost became, and this may be like something people deal with today, is it almost starts to become your identity.
Yeah.
You get so caught up in certain things, especially in the corporate world sometimes, you get caught up in that title and all those types of things,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I met someone along my journey, you know, in the industry, financial industry, and she told me something that stuck with me and still
Mhm.
sticks with me to this day. She says, your title is rented, but your
Mm.
character is owned. Ain't nobody take that away from you.
Can't. And your purpose too.
And your
Yeah,
purpose.
it's own.
And so I asked God to, you know, continue to, like I said, to guide me.
Yeah.
And, you know, obviously I'm still with, you know, my corporate job, but he said, I have something else for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember praying to him saying, give me a space to where I can really step into my purpose and my calling,
Yeah.
because I know that you're calling me to something bigger. I just can't see it.
Mm.
So when that walk by faith, not by sight, it's one of those things to where he said,
Yeah.
trust me.
Yeah.
Okay, trust me that I got this. You continue to do what you do and let me handle everything else. And so when you talk about like that faith piece, I think what people need to understand, when you step out on faith, you know, you stepping out saying, God, I trust what you're gonna do. You have my best interest at heart,
Yeah.
and you are going to continue to order my steps. Sometimes we get ahead of ourselves and we want the answer and we want the reward,
Yeah.
you know, real quick.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we gotta just be patient. We gotta be patient for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I love that because you had your purpose and you were dancing and entertaining others and giving them joy, I assume.
Yeah.
And that, you know, when you pivoted, it was not easy. But
No.
you were able to
Mhm.
pivot, because I saw a girl on Instagram and she got her car stolen. And so she had to jump out the car to save her life. After that, she was doing basketball, but after she got injured, she couldn't play basketball anymore. So she went into a depression.
Yeah.
She gained like 300 pounds.
Wow.
I think she was at least like 350, 400 pounds. And so now she's on her health and wellness journey. I always see her page, cheer her on. But it's not easy for everyone to pivot, or not possible. So instead of, you know, because you're looking good. She looks like she pivoted good. I don't know. I know it was hard when she did it.
Let me tell you, this is what I say, and this is what many people say.
Yeah.
I don't look like what I've been through.
Yeah. I will have to agree.
And even up until this morning,
Yeah,
it was a rough morning for me.
yeah,
Because there are days
Yeah.
when things are happening and you don't think that you can show up,
yeah.
but you muster up this unbelievable strength that God gives you
Mhm.
to keep moving and putting one foot in front of the other.
Yeah.
And so I think that during all the seasons of pivoting, because I've had to pivot many times, not just with, you know, my jobs and things like that. I also have 2 children. You know, I have a husband.
Yeah.
You know, my youngest son was diagnosed with autism almost 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So I've had to continue to pivot and learn
Yeah.
things. But I also know that God would never give me something if he didn't know I could do it.
She was built for
That's
this.
for
For
y'all.
tough.
Look, that's for
Yeah.
everybody. He
Yeah.
will never give you something
Yeah.
that you can't do.
That you can't do. That you can't do. And I want to go back really quick. I had another thought on helping others and telling your story. That may be, and usually is, a part of your purpose. And for some women, or if even the men is watching the Pretty Girls on Work, hey, shout out to y'all. You have to know that when you're not operating in your purpose, you're going to be depressed every day. You're going to be anxious every day. And, you know, and whether you're in between two things, it's like one's pulling you this way, one's pulling you that way. Which one is your heart in? Which one is your purpose? Because once you start operating your purpose, I have some bad days, but not every day anymore. You know what I'm saying? So like 7.5 years ago, y'all know where I started. I was doing home health care. I lied to get the job because I had 2 kids. And then I had 2 jobs at $0 still. My pockets touching, and I had 2 jobs. Wow. And so I also did DoorDash. With my kids in the car.
My God.
And you know, those days was rough.
Yeah.
It was like an everyday type of thing. Like you picking up McDonald's for people, but you can't afford it. You know, so it's like, but ever since I've been in my purpose, I can have $1 million in my account. I can have -10. You know what I'm saying? My heart is still there. Like,
That's right.
I love to help other women. I love to build brands for men and women. So
Yes.
it's like, you know,
You know what you said here, and I'm, obviously I have a podcast too, so I'm
right.
I'm looking at you like, girl, I got questions,
Yeah.
But to hear you talk about your own story of saying, I'm working for DoorDash.
Yeah.
I got my kids in the car.
Yeah.
I'm picking up other food for other people, but I can't even afford to get my own.
Right.
Let me tell you something. When I said that you don't look like what you've been through, the oil on your life,
The oil.
the joy in your
Yes.
heart,
Yes.
your smile on your face,
Yes.
you still showed up.
Yeah.
And you also did another thing. You showed your children that no matter the circumstance,
Yeah.
that you got to keep pushing because
keep pushing.
joy comes in the morning.
In the morning.
Okay.
Come on.
And that there is something on the other side of this.
Yeah.
We going through this right now, but this
Right.
is temporary.
Right.
This is temporary because you knew you had to go hard and you did. And look at you now.
And look at me now.
Look at me now.
Hey, Blackie, boy. And
we got along.
it's always, hold on, because I want to comment on that, but it's a chapter in my book, Who
Yeah.
Motivates Motivator, about joy.
And
And I actually read it in the sauna yesterday at the gym.
okay.
And I felt joyful all over again, just reading my story and how far that I've come.
Yeah.
You know? Let me get back to that little interlude we had.
Yeah.
So I'm in something called Next Level Speakers. It's
Okay.
Eric Thomas's group in California.
Okay.
And one of the other speakers, they had a parent workshop at a high school a couple days ago.
Okay.
And he said, I got the music Tourette's. So he was like, work, around the song
Yes.
on one of his slides. And I was like, I got that too. I'm like, I think we're getting a little older. So we just started singing that song. And I'm like, it brought me back to that. But okay, let's get into storytelling and empowerment.
Okay. Okay.
You grow girl around faith, empowerment, and community.
Mm-hmm.
How does storytelling help women step into their God-given purpose and use their voices to impact others?
Yeah. Yeah. So the Grow and You Grow Girl, when I was starting the podcast, I remember getting everything ready for the podcast and God telling me, like, this is what you're doing. And I said, well, God, I ain't got no name for the podcast. So help me out here. I don't know. Like, I got a podcast and it's just going to be called podcast. I don't know.
Podcast.
But what he did was, and what he downloaded to me was, you grow girl, because that's your personality anyway.
Yeah.
Like, you always rooting on people. You always,
I like
all
that.
those things, right?
Yeah.
You're always rooting for women. Not saying that I'm not rooting for men, because I'm rooting for y'all too. But I'm really rooting for women to win. And so when I came up with that, he said, and the acronyms are going to be gratitude, resilience, obedience, and worthy. And every time you have a guest on your show, I want them to reflect on one.
Yeah.
And how it resonates with them today through their own story.
We're gonna do that today.
Okay. So we took that away and I said, okay, but when it comes to storytelling, which with each guest that I would bring onto the show, I was very intentional about all my guests that have come onto my show thus far. I prayed over them. I prayed that when they did come into the space, they felt safe, number one.
I love that.
They felt like they could really kind of unleash some of the things that have been holding them. And even the ones that were like, I'm a little bit nervous. Like, what if I say the wrong thing? And I said, well, what you have to think about is that your story is helping somebody else that's listening. Even if it's one person.
Even if it's the one.
Because
I'm the one. I know Kat the one. You know what I'm saying? It could be the one. Go ahead.
That's it. And you never know, that one could be the person that not only needed to hear your story because they've been through that too, but it could be the one person that hears your story to elevate your career and can elevate what you've been working so hard on day and night, your purpose, your passion, and what God's called you to do. And so I always tell them, I start off with, letting them know beforehand, just talk about your story. Just be you, be authentically you. Let's just talk. Let's just have a conversation. Because there is power in that story. Your words are not just words on a page. They're your life scripted. It's your life scripted. And believe it or not, all of our lives are scripted.
I love that.
Right? And some of them have, absolutely. And some of them we have to, pivot and alter and all of those different things. But at the end of the day, you know, being able to share, you know, your experiences with other people, or even your business opportunities or business goals with other people.
Mhm.
It can give other people ideas.
Yeah.
We shouldn't, you know, keep or hijack
Yeah.
our bright ideas. You know, if we know something, share it. Because you never
Comment on that.
know.
Let me know when I can step in.
Yeah, go on, girl. Yeah, do it.
Woo, child. Okay, because I done got gate kept
Yeah.
several times,
Okay.
and maybe it got me to where I'm at today.
Mm,
So I always believe everything always works out for you.
that's right.
But here, I love, because this is our platform, I love speaking on never gatekeep somebody.
That's right.
But actually, we got ChatGPT now. So
Mhm.
can't nobody gatekeep you. Let me say that to whoever's watching this and thinks they need somebody else's information,
Mhm.
you literally don't even need it anymore.
No.
If you're thinking about, you know, starting a business, leaving your job, becoming an entrepreneur, whatever you're thinking about,
Yeah.
go into ChatGPT, let it know. It's going to give you the steps to do it.
Mhm.
But I did have some people that gate kept. You copied my flyer. Just different stuff that doesn't matter because it's billions of people on this world.
That's right.
And imagine if somebody gate kept me and I haven't helped the thousands of people that I've helped now, men and women,
Right.
and I just quit because
Mhm.
they held back that information.
Yeah.
So it's something I like to talk about: connect, collaborate, and celebrate.
That's it.
So all the pretty girls on here, and pretty girl is not just outside, it's skin deep. It's the acronym we read that we're gonna ask Kat to give us what her favorite is in a second.
Yeah. Yeah.
But connect with other like-minded women
Mhm.
that are not, you know, clubbing and every day. You want people that's like, I want to be an entrepreneur too.
Yeah.
People like me and Kat,
That's
okay? You want to collaborate.
That's right.
Collaborate on what you can. So right now we're collaborating, right?
That's right.
She has a podcast, I have a podcast.
Yep.
It's no competition here.
Nope.
Competition is made up. Every word is made up. So what are you going to let hold you back in life because it's made up?
That's right.
And lastly, once you collaborate, celebrate, because if you're helping at least one person, like Kat said, you're moving somebody's life forward.
That's right.
Generational health, wealth, and mindset. These are things that we don't have.
That's
We're
right.
talking about food stamps and rushing the store and stealing right now. When meanwhile, this is going to birth some new businesses, is what I think.
That's
I'm
right.
feeling it in my spirit right
That's
now. I'm
right.
getting the chills.
Come on.
The food stamp cut is going to tell somebody, you've been on this for too long. It's time for you to rise up. So, hold on.
Come on.
Okay, go ahead, comment if you want. I know.
No, that was good.
Man.
And I think, like, you know, was just talking through that and not being able to support. Like, I think
Yeah.
it's important that we learn how to support one
Yeah.
another in that way, and we can all get a piece of the pie.
Yeah.
There is so much on the table for everybody.
Everybody.
And you made that point very, very clear. And so it's just for people to really understand that, you know what? You were given a purpose. We were all designed and
Yes.
wonderfully made.
Yes.
We all got something different.
Yes.
We may be in the same lane doing the same things,
Right.
but we definitely can uplift each other.
Uplift each other.
We both have different personalities. We both have all these things going for us. We both have, like you said, we both have a podcast. But we could sit on one podcast and talk
Right.
about the beautiful things that we both do, and we do two different things. Like, I'm learning from you today. There's
Right.
things that I'm taking away. I'm putting my notes in my phone, you know, because I'm like, wow, I didn't know
Yeah.
to do that, you know.
Yeah.
So it's all about a learning, but you also
Yeah.
want to just make sure you give back.
Yep.
Right? You want to give back and you want to help folks, you know, and meet them where they are, and also help them elevate.
Help them
Help them
elevate.
elevate. Empower them, encourage them.
Encourage them. So
Yeah.
Kat and I, we both have podcasts, but we have different audiences.
Correct.
So even if you get in the same lane as somebody, you have different audiences. Everybody that likes me doesn't like her. Everybody that likes her doesn't like me. It's called resonating with
Mhm.
someone.
Correct.
So your people are going to resonate with you, and my people are going to resonate with me, and that's why we have to collaborate. So let's get to the next question: turning pain into purpose. You've mentioned your grandmother's influence and how her wisdom shaped you. How have faith, family, and even motherhood influenced your leadership and the way you empower others?
That's good. That's so good. Um, it's almost like an emotional question because You know, when I talk about my kids, when I talk about my grandma, number one, my grandmother is 95. And she is thriving in the best way that she can.
Okay.
She is still spicy. And she is just a brilliant matriarch of our
Wow.
family.
Wow.
And to see her work so hard her entire life, with 7 children and raise those 7 children of her own. And she's so strong. And she, I remember her never holding back what she had to say. I mean, it was at one point in my life I lived with her,
Yeah.
and she just was always dropping gems in my spirit.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm so grateful for her. When I had, you know, and my mom is just that girl. I tell her she's that girl.
Period.
And I am incredibly blessed to
Yeah.
still have her too.
Awesome.
But she has made me the woman that I am today, her and my grandmother.
Yeah.
And I also got a host of aunties that are rock stars. But I would say, as being a mom now to my children,
Yeah.
you know, obviously we gonna do everything we can to protect our babies.
Yeah.
Right. And I have 2 boys, and they are my world. I call them like my 2 special kings, because you know, Carter and Chase are, you know, everything to me.
Yeah.
And they push me each and every day to
Yeah.
go harder.
Yeah.
Right. My 8-year-old is the one that's on the autism spectrum. So I'm doing a lot of work around autism and advocacy and all of those things for it. And that's a whole nother conversation. I have a foundation for him, where we focus on, you know, children that are on the spectrum, but we also help families.
That's amazing.
And then my oldest son is 17, and you know, he's an athlete, really good athlete who travels the world doing all kinds of different things. So they are truly my blessings.
Yeah.
And each and every day that I get to wake up and I get to be a mom, that right there is everything to me, because God gave me the ability to become a mother.
Yeah.
Right. I'm
Right.
always praying for, you know, women that are in a season of wanting to be a mother.
Yeah.
And maybe it's taken a little bit longer. But what I do
Right.
believe is that God is always covering the wombs
Yeah.
of women who are trying to, you know, conceive a child and things like that. I'm always trying to touch where I can, because I
Right.
take that job very
Yeah.
serious. That's a job that I don't play with.
You
Not that
can't
I'm
play
playing with any other one.
You can't.
But this one, you can't fumble. It's like you can't fumble
You
the bag,
can't
right?
fumble
You
it,
can't
man.
fumble being a mama.
You cannot.
I may not get it right
Yeah.
every time,
Yeah.
right? I may not have all the answers. I may not do things in a way other people may think I should move, you know, with my children, but they're mine.
Yeah.
And I'm learning and growing,
Grow, girl.
okay,
Okay.
through this entire process of
I
being
love
a
that.
mom. But my
Wow.
babies are my everything.
I love hearing that. Just fed my soul. I love that. And so I posted a picture yesterday with my kids here at the Bebop Center. Shout out to the Bebop Center, okay? I know Dr. Kim, she watching it like, come on, girl, shout us out. We got the background. But at the Bebop Center, we took a picture in front of the other backdrop. It's white, and I have my book, Who Motivates the Motivator. I got it right here.
Yeah.
My son had his book, Crisis: The Fallen Element Masters. And he also talked about how long it took me to publish his book. I'm like, look, son, I can only do so much.
Yeah.
It took a couple years for me to publish his, but then I got mine right after that. So it all worked out for us. And then my daughter, she had a book like with this type of paper. It was called The Three Little Balls. I don't know about the name, but we took a picture with all those books, and I'm like, this is the legacy. This is the generations to come. And just like Kat was saying, this is a serious job.
Yeah.
And it weighs on me every day. And you have to be just active in your mind with this job every day.
Yeah.
What am I saying? What are my actions? Am I leading by example? And it's every day for me. Like, am I spending enough time? My son, like, we spend enough time together. I'm like, do we?
Right.
I'm like, I always feel like I have to do more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but okay, let me get to the next one. Financial confidence and faith-based branding. So you've transitioned from performing arts to finance, 2 different worlds that both require confidence. What advice would you give to the woman who feels fear around money, leadership, or her next chapter?
Okay. Um, I think first of all, when it comes to money, obviously it's something that, we need to live. However, what I would say is, I think for a lot of people, money can be something that could be funny. It could be scary. And I would say the other part too is that, how have we learned about how to manage our money? I think that
Yeah,
part could be scary too, right?
Yeah.
Because and we
Yeah.
weren't brought up in a way to, learn how to do the basics,
yeah,
of things, like
Right.
budgeting and things like that, that could be rough, right? So when we get it, we splurge it, right?
Splurging. My Ben's bigger than Bentley.
It's all right. So I would say is that, really to, kind of learn that piece of
Yeah.
things, and you're probably thinking, well, Kat, well, I'm supposed to do that at? I mean, there's so many different places
Yeah,
that you can learn, whether you're online, whether you want to find, a
Yeah.
financial industry, where you want to, ask people, how to manage things. I think it's important for people to, get that part right, because you want to keep your money, right? As quick as it comes,
Yeah,
it's as quick as it can go.
yeah,
And I know what it's like to be broke. I know what it's like to spend
Yeah.
out. I know what it's like to, tear my credit up. I know about all that, and I
Yeah.
can talk about what that looks like. And so I think sometimes we don't want to learn those things early
Yeah.
on in life, right? Or sometimes we're just not taught, right?
Yeah.
And it's not because of lack of just you not wanting to know. You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
And sometimes our parents or our grandparents, they don't have those conversations with us.
Mhm.
Not, and no shame on them, right? Because they didn't know how to tell us.
Because somebody might have not taught them either. So that's
Exactly.
generational right there too.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so it's just really kind of like learning through that process. It's a
Yeah.
learning process.
Yeah.
And give yourself grace. Okay. Grace
Grace.
is free. Okay.
Grace is free.
Give yourself
Yeah.
grace through that
Yeah.
process, because it can be a little bit discouraging,
Yeah.
whether you have it or not, especially when you're stepping out as a new entrepreneur, when you're leaving a corporate world or whatever, the money ain't coming every 2 weeks anymore.
It ain't coming every 2 weeks anymore.
Okay.
So that's for you.
You start questioning, like, okay,
Yeah.
I don't know if I was built for this,
Yeah.
right? So, you just have to really lean on God through that, but you also got to make sure you plan, strategize,
Yeah.
have a strategy, make sure you plan exactly how you want things to happen. Will it happen in that way? No,
No.
but at least you came with a strategy and a plan, so
Yeah.
that way you can effectively lead
Yeah.
what you're trying to lead. But
Yeah.
I would say just make sure that you try to educate
Yes.
yourself. The more knowledgeable you are around how to manage those things, because
Yeah.
generational wealth is so important in
It is.
our communities, specifically
Yes.
in Black communities. Like, we want to try to learn how to keep those assets,
Right.
for our children,
Yeah.
and even beyond that, our
Yeah.
grandchildren. But it starts with, just having a conversation and being honest about that conversation.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. I love that. Oh, she's dropping the gems. Look, we haven't had this. I've had this podcast 2 or 3 years, but I
Yeah.
haven't had an episode in months. So, this is a banger right here.
Oh man.
So what I want to say, let me see. Well, we kind of just talked about legacy, so we got that one knocked in there, but
Yeah.
it needs to be intentional.
Absolutely.
When you're building your legacy, don't splurge, because that is your generational wealth
Correct.
that you can be investing.
Yeah.
Everybody's saying, do you have iPhone stock? You done got the iPhone again. Now look, y'all, I ain't got one in 3 years, so I had to do it. But now I know
Yeah.
I need iPhone stock. So
Yeah.
when it comes out next year, it's always on my birthday. Let me tell you that. But I'm not gonna get it next year, y'all. We gonna get iPhone stock before next year, though.
I
So
heard that.
Kat, that was absolutely powerful. Your journey is such a reminder that every detour is divine and every story has purpose.
Come on.
So we want to tell you today, we want to challenge you. Get into your purpose. It feeds your spirit, your soul, your mind. And so that's what's going to help you push forward, elevate, choose your purpose, okay? Even if you're in your job and you're staying in your job, you have to work on your purpose, because that fills up your soul.
That's right.
Pretty girls, I hope this conversation inspires you to own your voice, honor your story, and build your brand from a place of faith and authenticity.
That's right.
So When she says to tell your story, when you have a business and a brand, that is your brand story, like we spoke on earlier.
That's right.
Your brand story is what you've been through. We want to hear the gnarliest, the worst part of the story because somebody's still going through that and you can help them get through that hurdle. So we got a quick, extremely quick, rapid fire. And so it's just like a 1 to 2 word answer. So
Okay.
faith, finance, or freedom, which one shaped your journey the most?
Faith.
Faith. Okay. What's one word or sentence your grandmother taught you that you still live by?
I would say be you because everybody else is taken.
Be you. Okay, you girl. What's one word that describes this season of your life?
Oh my God. A test.
A test. Okay, period. When you need to refill your spirit, what's your go-to scripture or worship song?
Oh, so I would say, oh my goodness, I got a couple of things and it just riddled my head really quick. So I would say Jeremiah 29:11. And then I would say as far as a song, this morning I actually was listening to it because life was life in this morning, like I told y'all, because everything ain't, I had to pull it together today. But it was Lord, do it for me. And I needed that this morning to pull me through what I was going through this morning. And that's exactly what he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did I mention that rock hit my window this morning? Something wasn't right this morning. We're not gonna let that ruin our day. We don't have bad days anymore. You better give yourself an hour, 5 minutes, but we can't get time back. So I'm not even gonna waste it thinking about that rock.
That's right.
We're gonna move on though, right?
That's right.
So, and then I love what you said earlier about your acronym. So we have positive, respectful, encouraging, thankful, truthful, and why you being you. Which one do you resonate with today?
You said positive,
respectful, encouraging, thankful, truthful, and why you being you.
So I would say mine is thankful.
Thankful. Okay.
Okay. And the reason why it's thankful is because when I get to wake up each and every day to start and my limbs is moving and I'm able to speak and I'm able to talk, I'm so thankful that God gave me another opportunity to do this thing called life again.
Yeah.
And that's just who I am through and through, is that every moment I get an opportunity to just say, thank you, Lord, for keeping me. Thank you, Lord, for bringing me through. Thank you, Lord, for taking care of my kids. Thank you, Lord, for starting me on my way. Thank you, Lord, for putting me in position. Thank you, Lord, for the trials and the tribulations.
Thank you for it all.
Thank you for it all. You know what I'm saying? So I'm so thankful and also grateful.
Yeah.
You know, and those two go, you know, hand in hand for me.
I always say what I'm grateful for every day. I ask my family, my sister, my mom, my kids, what are you grateful for? Because when you're positive and you say what you're grateful for, you attract more of that.
Absolutely.
So like when the rock hit my window, I say, it's always something. I said, okay, we got to get that fixed.
That's right.
You know? So, okay. If this episode blessed you, share it with your sister, your fellow pretty girl.
That's right.
And tag us, because when one woman rises, we all rise. This is Pretty Girls Don't Work, where we don't chase hustle, we chase healing, purpose, and legacy. Until next time, I'm your host, Coach Ablaza, and
Cat Hadnot.
Stay pretty, stay powerful, and remember, your voice is your vehicle to purpose. Thank you.